are entering a new age. We're seeing things that until now have only been imagined in science fiction. And as a biomedical engineer, I'm obsessed with creating technologies that can change lives. Technologies that fuse human capacity with intelligent machinery. It's a new era in human evolution. And it's incredibly exciting. In our last episode, you met my friend Riley. Riley has cerebral palsy. The main part of his body he can voluntarily control are his eyes. Might be a bit of a weird feeling at first. Together, we developed a prototype technology. Track my hand. Sensor. It reads the tiny bioelectrical signals generated from the movement of his eyes. Cool. He was able to do things we take for granted, like turn on a light. There we go. Turn on a TV.
It was absolutely amazing.
It gave him a control over his world he's never had, his very own superpower. And Riley had something else he wanted to do.
I want to drive a car.
You're only 13. Now I want to find out how far we can push this technology. I want to find out if it's possible for Riley to drive a car. To get this particular bit of insanity up and running, I'm calling on my interns again. All right, guys, we've done really well, but we have a new challenge. The headband that we designed to harvest the electrical signals from Riley's eyes, this now is going to have to control a car. So if we're going to make this happen, we need a computer on board the car, and we need our headband to control that computer.
Right.
So what we need to do next is find a car that we can hack. My friend Darren runs a company in Perth where he builds awesome equipment for people with disabilities. Hey Darren, how you going?
Good afternoon.
I've got this project where I'm trying to take control of a car with a computer. Do you happen to know how we could do this?
We've got a couple of vehicles that we've modified to make them joystick controlled. So they've got a control system which we could potentially hack into.
Right.
We could plug in a USB cable from the buggy into your computer and control it through a series of data outputs.
So if you can make the buggy controlled through a computer, we can take it from there and do the rest.
Fantastic. We'll just make sure our computers are talking in the same language and we'll be able to make it happen for you.
All right, mate, thanks for everything. We'll be in contact soon.
No problem.
See ya. Darren gets to work adapting a little powered dune buggy so it can be controlled by computer. And we get to work on the new design for Riley's headband, which you'll remember didn't work last time. All right. Oh yeah, I can see. It's coming way off. Yeah?
It ended up not actually fitting Riley. There was just too much movement in his head.
The amount of force that he pushes with the headrest,
it would just get pushed off. So we've had to come up with a way that it's not going to sit anywhere behind his ear.
So we're going to cut the main design, which is going to hurt a few people because it was very difficult to get this done. But we're going to hacksaw through it. So...
There she goes. I just want to see the front. It actually looks pretty badass.
Badass or not, there is an inherent problem with any headband we make for Riley. Riley's eye movements need to correlate directly to driving commands. For example, looking up to drive forward and looking left to steer left. So what we've noticed is a new problem. If Riley's using his eyes to control the buggy, then how is he safely going to see where he's supposed to be driving? What Riley needs is another way to see. I'm here today to meet a bloke called Chris. From a young age, Chris learnt to augment one sense to compensate for another. Although it's normal for Chris, to the rest of us, what he's doing is pretty remarkable. Chris.
Yes.
How you going?
Yeah, good. Jordan, is it?
That's it.
Yep.
Let's go for a walk.
Okay, no worries.
Chris has been blind since birth. This is his vision of the world. But watch this.
A couple of trees.
Yep.
That's obviously... I think there's obviously stairs there.
Even see the stairs.
Yeah, I can tell that.
fantastic.
Back up. Okay, no. That's just a wall with obviously a step or two at the bottom of it.
Wow! Yeah, okay, so the wall is going in a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it drops in.
What Chris does when he makes those clicks is he's sending out pulses of sound that hit things and reflect back to him. And that describes what's in front of him. Chris is seeing through sound. It's called echolocating.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like there's a shitload of windows and obviously some shades or something up the top, because it really has a mad reflection coming back. And there's a building up to my left.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what, but it's taller and sounds like it's got awnings up on, say, second or third floor. There's something coming out.
Yeah.
This side.
It's a pretty great description.
I can't tell you what it is though.
It's a very odd shape for a building, I'll tell you that. While echolocating probably isn't an option for Riley to use when he comes to drive the buggy, it does give us a clue to what else we could try. And the clue is in Chris's brain.
Hiya.
I'm talking with a specialist in neural complexity, Dr. Fiona Kerr.
Looks amazing. So if we have a look at the part of the brain that lights up when an echolocator echolocates, it's actually the visual cortex, and that's at the back of the brain.
Right, as opposed to the auditory.
Yes, so they're using their ears the way that sighted people are using their eyes.
That's fantastic.
The visual cortex is there to take information in through your eyes. And if you're not doing that because you're blind, then it's basically sitting there redundant. And so it repurposes to be able to use other receptors to get the information in from other places.
We've developed this headband that allows Riley to control technology with his eyes. Now we want him to drive a car. And if he's using his eyes to control the car, then he's not really looking at where all the objects and obstacles are. Is there some way that we could maybe get him to do something like what the echolocator has been doing? Can we repurpose his senses?
Yes, the body is like a bunch of receptors. And one of the fascinating things is how much information we actually get through our skin. It's the biggest organ in the body. People don't think about it that way.
It's really sensitive.
Very, very sensitive. Yeah. All sorts of things are through the receptors of touch.
So we may be able to use touch for a new sense.
Yeah, you've got a really large amount of information that can come through a really large area. So he could repurpose that.
Chris showed me that Riley's brain could potentially augment one sense with another, and my talk with Fiona gives me an idea as to how we might do it. We're going to try to get Riley to see through touch, through his skin. We attach small vibration motors to Riley's arms, so when Riley drives towards something on his right arm vibrates. Drives towards something on his left arm vibrates. The vibration motors we'll be placing on Riley's arms are the same as what you'd find in your mobile phone. So the next thing we need to find out is how sensitive is Riley to these particular vibrations. Hey guys, how are we going?
Hey mate, how are you?
Yeah, good. I'm just going to get you to try something for me, please. If Clint, if you have your phone with you...
Yep.
I'm going to give you a phone call, but don't answer it. This might sound a little bit weird, but I need you to put the phone on Riley's arm. And Riley, let me know if you can feel the vibrations from the phone.
How's that? Yeah, he can feel that.
Yeah, you can feel that?
Yep.
Fantastic. All right, that's all for now. I'll let you know what's happening soon.
Thanks, mate.
See you guys. Bye.
Yeah.
Here's the current plan we have so far. Riley's biological signals are going to have to travel through this entire system. So what's going to happen is we have the headband, which he's wearing, That picks up on the electrical eye signals, goes through this portable EOG, through a wireless communication to a tablet that's mounted on the vehicle. Now what we have here is to sense the environment, we have a laser that's mounted on the vehicle, sending information through to the tablet, up through a cloud service, down into a mini computer that's right next to Riley, and that will be sending information to the vibration motors on his arms. There's so much technology that has to talk together here, that all has to communicate, and if any one of these elements falls apart, then the whole system's going to fail. So what we need right now is a prototype vehicle. Okay, so this is going to be a good simulation of our final buggy design, and what we need to do is we need to get this laser system mounted somewhere on the front. I don't really care what it looks like. Let's just get this facing flush forward. So, Nick, if you're able to program up an interface so we can see maybe a stick figure, we need to be able to see the arms, because what we're going to do is have little lights that will show us which vibration motors are going to light up based on what this can see.
This is a lidar, which sends an invisible laser out to objects. That laser bounces back, and we measure the time that the laser took to return. It uses that to calculate the distance the object is from the trolley. This is the first step of our technology, because this will be connected to a computer, which then translates to the vibration motors on Riley's arms.
Should be right. See? Perfect. Tape did the job. Left one, yeah. Middle ones. So what we have here is our stick figure man. The lower parts of the arms are showing that there's objects coming up, but they're not going to be an impending collision, whereas the top parts of the arms will actually go off if there's an impending collision. So what this one is saying right now is that there's an object up to the right. This one's saying there's an object up to the left, but if the buggy keeps going straight, these are off, so there won't be any collision whatsoever. Now, if we see Nick walking across in the way of the buggy, to that point, this part turns on, and that turns on to say that there's going to be a collision on the right side of the buggy if it keeps going straight. Now, if Nick moves across to the left side, the right side will switch off, and the left upper arm will switch on to say that if the buggy keeps going forward, it will have a collision on the left side of the buggy. So this is how Riley will know what's happening in the environment, where all the objects are, and the stronger the vibrations, the closer the object. We're taking our prototype vehicle outside,
Skinny jeans were a bad idea.
where Nick
He's not skinny, I'm just fat.
generously volunteers to be our test pilot. All right, so this one goes in his on the upper arm, and lower arm.
Yeah, I'm just worried about the bottom of it short-circuiting on the shopping trolley. All of them are going off.
But as soon as we start our test, why is everything triggering right now?
Oh God.
There's something.
It's picking up all this noise here.
The laser gives us really weird readings. Why is everything triggering?
I don't know.
This is not good.
Yep.
The laser sensor thinks that it's picking up on lots of objects all in this area. So about this far away from the trolley, it's just shooting objects everywhere at the moment. First thing about engineering, if it doesn't work, unplug it and replug it in.
Reset. Yeah, have you tried turning it off and on again?
Ah!
No, it's not good.
Not really, because
That's not working at all now.
one with the Surface Pro.
No, it's sort of
There's a
gone
lot
all
of
over the
noise.
place.
Have we ever used this laser outside?
No, but laser sensors are supposed to work in many different types of environments.
They tested 3 indoors and had maximum range. During the indoor testing, each laser performed exceptionally, and only the URG 04LX, which is that one there, did not work outdoors.
Of course, that's the one that we get.
Yeah.
We need to buy a new laser. The way I feel about this at the moment is a little frustrated. We should have checked that, but we didn't. Now we've got to find another one and get testing again as soon as we can. While the team search for another laser, I'm heading back up to Riley's house. Riley doesn't yet know about the buggy we're making for him. Seriously, just a simple track. And I've made him a game.
Hook me up.
It's a driving game where he can practice driving a virtual car using the technology we've designed. Because you're going to be steering with your eyes, then you're not being able to see where you go. So we're going to feed some information to you through vibrations. You're going to drive the car through the game, and whenever you approach an object, the purple lights come on and the vibration motors go off. And you're going to have these on your arm, so you're going to be able to feel it. That means that you can feel the obstacles as they approach, and then you'll be steering with your eyes. Got it? Cool. While Riley practices, I show his dad the buggy Darren's been building for us over in Perth, because we have to figure out a way to fit Riley's special chair into it. Now here's the seat that it comes with.
Okay, so what I think we need to do is work out some dimensions of the seat that's in the buggy at the moment and work out if we can get Riley's seat off his wheelchair and get that seat over the top of this seat. We're just going to have to make sure we can do this without Riley knowing about it. And do it probably when he's asleep. And work out if we can get the seat off the wheelchair. But it can be done, so yeah.
Right. I'm leaving Riley to practice because back at my place in Sydney, I'm expecting a very special delivery. That's amazing. Darren has come through brilliantly. Good. Oh, this is beautiful. This is amazing. It's one of these things that's just been in the making for a while, and it's starting to be real. This is beautiful. Riley's going to love this. He gets to drive it. Everyone gathers in the morning to fit our technology to the buggy. While Riley's sitting in the passenger seat, his headband will be sending wirelessly signals to this through Bluetooth. This is plugged in and hardwired directly to the controller in here that's controlling the motors of the buggy. That's fantastic. That works really, really well.
So we had all those problems with our previous laser. This is a similar model actually, but it actually works outdoors. We've got 8 different pieces of software that we've got to piece together to make all of this work. We've tested each of them in their own little way, but getting them all together, it's going to be interesting. Look, theoretically, it's going to work.
We've got one day to do all this because Riley arrives tomorrow, and it's getting tight because on top of all we need to do, we're losing one of our team members.
After all this work and technology development, unfortunately I have to go away. But no problem. I have Nick here taking a photo of me. So I'll get to be there with the team, I'll get to see Riley, and I'll get to see how our technology goes.
It's turned into a really long day. Okay, yep, we're ready to go. And now, it's time to test Nick's software. 1:20 a.m. and we think he's done it. Right, trying to gain control of the buggy through the USB ports.
I'm going to click something and nothing's going to happen. Ready? You ready?
Oh! Ah! You did it! Yeah! 1:20 in the morning, and he's done it. Fuck yeah. There's Nick, hard at work with his wizard's hat. So now Nick's software works, we connect everything up to our new, improved headband. Don't act like you're not impressed. We've got Darren, we've got Nick. We're going to go and try and drive this thing in the dark and figure out if it works.
3 a.m, test number 1.
It's 4:30 a.m. and we've just been into the park to test out the signals, the EOG signals, when driving the buggy, just to see if the signals would actually still respond. And we found that it has, so it's been pretty good. All right, we'll be back here in just a couple of hours to actually try the whole thing with Riley. The team lays out a track on our local soccer field. Now, we've only got it for one day because the soccer team needs it back for practice this afternoon. The track twists and turns, and Riley's task today is to drive through it, from one end to the other.
Hello.
Hello. Riley.
Good to see ya.
How are you going?
Good.
Riley, how you doing? Yeah? Say hi, everyone.
Hi,
Riley. You know how you said you wanted to drive a car? So, it might not be a car, but I think it's a little bit better. What do you reckon? Yeah? You want to give that a go? Check it out. Clint gets to work with Darren fitting Riley's special chair into the buggy. Once he's in, I show Riley the new headband design. You like that? Check out our cyborg headband for him.
Oh, wow.
There we go. Yeah, let's do it like that. Okay, good. So get it onto the temple, then take the sticky off. I fit the vibration motors to his arms, and now we test our technology. Ready? Starting position. Left. Can Riley's eyes really steer this thing? Go again. Take your time. Left. Oh! There we go. All right, everyone. We're going to have a go. I'm riding with Riley for safety. I can take the wheel any time and hit the brakes if I need to. And the big red button is a kill switch that will shut the engine down if anything goes wrong. We're getting ready? Everyone? Let's get a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Turn the right way, turn the right way. Even though we only made it about 30 metres, Riley took off brilliantly. We go back and get set up to go again. We had a bit of a turn there. Ready? Go for it. Go. Take it easy. Take it easy. Oh! Yes! Take it easy. Riley does it. He makes the first turn. You got through the first turn, buddy. That was so great.
Awesome.
Okay.
You get that. You'll get to the end.
Turn right. Keep going. Left. Get it for left. As the day wears on, Riley keeps trying really hard. And he tries again. And again. And again. And he just keeps at it. But something is going wrong with our technology. The movement of the buggy, the vibrations, actually provide a lot of electrical noise. So this makes it harder for him. So it actually overrides it a bit.
It's a bit of fun. A bit more.
And if that isn't enough, things are going wrong with our buggy.
We have made progress and have identified a few challenges which we've overcome.
The brakes have decided to fall apart, so we have to fix them. And the day's nearly over. Our time on the field is getting really short now.
We brought Louise along. We figure she's a good indication of how things are going at the moment. So, I mean, we'd like her to be like this, but right now she's like this.
Even though he's practiced, today, having to use his brain to take in all of the information is like the first time you get on a bike or the first time you ever steer a car. So he's done so well just to be able to steer it, because the cognitive load of taking all of the information in and working at a huge rate means that just to be able to steer that buggy was phenomenal. So his brain was working really, really hard.
Ready? Here it comes. Starting position. 3, 2, 1. Look up. Okay, take it easy. Straight ahead. Oh, no! Oh, I'm sorry. That was my fault. Sorry, I had to hit the brake. I wasn't sure if he was going to stop, and then he made the turn. So with Louise unimpressed and the local soccer team arriving for practice, Riley and I have one last shot. Good to go. 3, 2, 1. Go. Take it easy. Take it easy. Forward. Forward. Take it easy. Take it easy. Nice. 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 Keep it straight. Keep it straight. Keep it straight. Right. Yeah! We did it! Up, up, up. Oh, buddy! Oh my God! You drove a car. Oh my God! Oh, we got there. Okay.
I'm so happy for him. I'm just happy for him. It's been one of his dreams. He wants independence, and I honestly didn't think he would ever get the chance. And he's only 13, and he's still got plenty of time. He's got a chance of achieving all the things that he wants to do.
The car was freaking awesome and bloody unbelievable. Wow. This has been the best experience of my life.
What we saw today was nothing short of amazing. All the teams have come together to bring this technology to life, but Riley had to work so much harder to push 400 kilograms of vehicle through this obstacle course, and he did that purely with the electrical activity from his eyes. Now, this has huge implications for the future. One day we might all be able to control our technology with our own biology. One day we might all be able to become superhuman.
I think mind control could change the world and allow physically disabled people just like myself to be more independent. We will have more input into society. I want to change the bloody world.
Let's do it.